cause the person's browser to transmit to the server of the advertiser the URL of the page person is visiting. Through web work, a computer can be subject to search. This is violation of privacy, as a computer is the storehouse of a person's most valuable information nowadays. Then we will discuss spamming. Spam is unsolicited email through which a message is delivered over the internet to someone who could not otherwise choose to receive it. Most of the spam is commercial advertising. It also refers to sending an email message to hundreds and thousands of internet users. In no other form of advertisement does the advertiser pay so less as compared to those to whom the advertise is aimed. The receipt of unsolicited commercial electronic mail may result in cost to the recipient, who cannot refuse to accept such mail and who incur cost of the storage of such mail or for both. Then we will discuss hacking. Hacking refers to unauthorized access to a computer system. It is one of the most serious cyber crimes with which the internet users, government agencies, and the corporate organizations using computers are confronted. A hacker attempts to hack in a remote computer system for various reasons, including data theft, eavesdropping, fraud, destruction of data, damaging the computer system, mere fun, or personal satisfaction. Hacking could result in violation of individuals' privacy and might cause malicious harm to a network or a computer system. Hacker may steal useful confidential information stored on a computer like credit card numbers, password, etc. that may cause immense financial and personal harm to the user of such computer. Then we will discuss spyware. Spyware is another threat to privacy of an internet user. Some software developers have included code, trojans, backdoors, Santas, adware, and drive by downloads, etc. with their applications that causes the user's computer to transmit information back to the software developer via internet. Spyware can be used for generating annoying pop-up advertisement, collecting password and credit card numbers, etc. Then we will discuss whether the right to privacy is a fundamental right. Right to privacy is not specific fundamental right under the Constitution of India. However, the Supreme Court has recognized it by creative interpretation of the right to life and right to freedom. It is noteworthy that right to privacy is one of the most reasonable restrictions to the fundamental right to freedom of speech and expression, which is defined in under Article 19 Clause 1A of the Constitution. The fundamental right to life and liberty guaranteed by Article 21 has been interpreted to include the right to be left alone. The constitutional right to privacy flowing from Article 21 must, however, be read together with the constitutional right to publish any matter of public interest subject to reasonable restriction. The right to life has been interpreted as right to live with human dignity. It is by the virtue of his dignity that every individual has a right to private life, free of interferences and hindrances. The Supreme Court has developed the right to privacy over a period of time with the help of creative interpretation. In the case of Khadak Singh versus State of UP, Justice Subha Rao, in his minority opinion, laid the foundation for the development of the right to privacy in India. He held that concept of liberty wider under Article 21 was comprehensive enough to include privacy, and that a person's house where he lives with his family is his castle, and nothing is more deleterious to a man's physical happiness and health than a calculating interference with his privacy. In another case of Govind versus State of Madhya Pradesh, the Supreme Court acknowledged a limited right to privacy and held assuming that fundamental rights explicitly granted to a citizen have enumerable zones and that the right to privacy is itself a fundamental right. The fundamental right must be subject to restriction on the basis of compelling public interest. It was further held that privacy dignity claim deserved to be examined with care and to be denied only when an important countervailing interest is shown to the superior. There are many instances where journalists sought to permission from the court to interview and photograph prisoners. In such cases, although privacy issue was not directly dealt with, the court implicitly recognized the right to privacy and held that press has no absolute right to interview or photograph a prisoner. The press must first obtain the consent of the person sought to be interviewed or photographed. In the case of R. Rajagopal versus State of Tamil Nadu, which is commonly known as the Otto Shankar case, is a milestone in the development of law of privacy in India. Here, the court declared the right to privacy is instinct in the right to life and liberty granted to the citizen of this country by Article 21. It is right to be let alone. A citizen has a right to safeguard the privacy of his own, his family, marriage, procreation, motherhood, childbearing, and education, among other matters. None can publish anything concerning the above matter without his consent. In the case of People's Union versus Civil Liberty versus Union of India, the Supreme Court held that right to privacy, which was a part of the fundamental right to life, include right to hold telephone conversation in the privacy of one's home or office. Telephone tapping was held to be a form of technological eavesdropping and breaching right to privacy. Yet another dimension was added to right to privacy is Shraddha versus Dharampal. The question before the Supreme Court whether a party to divorce proceeding could be compelled to undergo a medical examination if such a direction violates the right to privacy. The court observed where there is no right to privacy specifically conferred by Article 21 of the Constitution of India and with the extensive interpretation of phrase personal liberty, this right has been read into the Article 21. It cannot be treated as absolute right. What is emphasized is that some limitation on this right have to be imposed, and particularly where two competing interests clash. The court has to reconcile these compelling interests, bearing on the interest involved on the basis of aforesaid judicial decision. One may infer that the individual's right to privacy exists and if violated, illegal action can be taken. Another one is right to privacy is recognized constitutional right and can be exercised against state invasion. Then the individual's right to be let alone is not an absolute right and may be lawfully taken away by the state under certain compelling circumstances. Then we will discuss international recognition to the right to privacy. The right to privacy has long held a place in the international conventions. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights 1948 specifically protects territorial and communication privacy. Article 12 of the same Act read as follows: no one should be subject to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence, nor to attack on his honor or reputation. Everyone has the right to protection of law against such interference or attacks. In similar words, Article 17 of International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights 1966, to which India is a signatory, also protect privacy. The Council of Europe in 1981 Convention for the Protection of Individuals with regard to automatic processing personal data and the Organization for Economic Cooperation Development's guidelines